What's up, Spooky Tube? Happy Halloween to all of you peeps out there in YouTube land and Facebook land and Twitter land and whatever else. I share this everywhere, so yeah. But happy Halloween to everybody. I hope y'all are having a good Halloween. If you are giving out candy tonight to all the little goblins and demons and whatever, make sure you turn your porch lights on. I think that's what they're looking for. I didn't know this last year, and I had every light in the house off, not realizing it. And nobody knocked on the door, and I was like, well, hell, I didn't even have many trick-or-treaters. But that's why. They look for lights on, porch light on, or they think you're not giving out candy. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I promised everybody that I would do a Halloween video. I'm so fidgety. I'm fidgety, guys, because this chair is super uncomfortable. Okay, so if you see me doing this all through the video, that's why. Because it hurts my ass. I got to get me a different chair. But anyway, I promised everybody a Halloween video, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bore you. I've been watching the analytics on these videos of mine, and after like 5 minutes and something, I'm losing everybody's attention. I'm trying not to do that. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. You can't fault me for learning, okay? Bear with me. I do this for you. I don't do this for me. I do this for you. So bear with me. Pay attention. I'm doing this one on Mitch McConnell again because I think that y'all need to know some stuff that I just found out today. I was digging up for dirt on him and I found some. Now, it might sound a little boring. I'm going to try to contract it down as much as I possibly can just to give you the gist of what it's saying, okay? Because I had to go through like 6 different videos and articles and stuff to find all this. So I'm just going to contract it down to a little bit to where you can understand what's going on. First thing is, the House passed another stimulus bill. As y'all know, everybody's out of work. We got I think the number was still 25 million people out of work, which means they lost that valuable employer-provided health care that Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump keeps claiming is so great. That's the reason why we can't have Medicare for all, because everybody's going to lose that employer-provided health care that 25 million people already lost, and now they're screwed. And where's Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell? They're quiet. We know about that. The House passed a bill. It's another stimulus package. It was $2.2 trillion. Okay. Donald Trump, get this, Donald Trump wanted a stimulus package. $1.8 trillion. Anywhere in the middle would have been fine, more than likely. It's still going to get the job done. Guess who said no to both of them? Mitch McConnell said no to both of them. Yeah. Why? Because it's going to be a package that helps regular, ordinary people like you and me. That's not what Mitch McConnell does. He don't like that. Remember that when you go vote. I know he's probably still going to get elected. I'm looking for him to still get elected because there's too many ignorant people out there that are voting for him, and you have no idea what you're doing. You don't have no idea what he does, what he's been doing the whole entire time. You think anybody that tells you any kind of facts or evidence of his crooked behavior in our name is lying to you. I mean, I don't know what else to do. So, yeah, he's probably going to get reelected. I'm just telling you the facts that you need to know before you go vote. Because do I want Mitch McConnell voted back in? Hell no. Absolutely not. And this is just part of the reason why. So y'all need to pay attention. He warned the Senate against passing any kind of stimulus bill for regular Americans because of the debt. It says the debt's too high. That's the reason why they can't do it. But he didn't care about the debt when they passed the $4.2 trillion package for corporate America. He didn't care about the debt then. He only cares about the debt when it comes to giving regular Americans something. Now, in that bill was $1.6 billion to go to the states, all the states, to help them with the voting and the mail-in ballots and all this stuff. That stuff costs money. I know y'all don't know that. Some of you probably don't know that, but it does. It costs money. So $1.6 billion was in that bill to help these states deal with the overflow of votes and the mail-in ballots and the staff and all that stuff. That's part of the reason why Mitch McConnell says no, because he don't want these states having any kind of relief at all to help with voting, because he don't like voting. They like November 3rd comes around, everybody goes to vote, and that's it. Why? Because mail-in ballots are mostly filled out by Democrats. That's why Mitch McConnell don't like mail-in voting. That's the reason why they've been lying about mail-in voting. Every time that they lie about it, it gets debunked. And they just continue telling the same lie, that mail-in voting is not safe and that it's full of fraud and people are voting more than once. And none of that's true. That's not happening. None of that's true. But they keep telling that same lie over and over and over, and you guys keep repeating it over and over and over just because they tell you it's a lie. Stop repeating it. Okay? Now, I know I ramble. Sorry. Mitch McConnell rushed Amy Coney Barrett through the whole process of picking her as Supreme Court Justice, because if this election gets contested, and it's already getting contested, Donald Trump's already made the remark several times that it's not fair to him, and he's doing it because he wants to set up the whole process, that if he loses, it's rigged, it's fraud, it's fraudulent. He's going to contest it. Guess who gets to pick and decide who wins the election? If Donald Trump contests it, if he loses. If he loses and he contests it, the Supreme Court decides on who wins the election. Now, it's always been like this, and I'm going to give you an example of just how screwed we can be if the Supreme Court decides to steal this election, and they will steal it, because the right wing has a majority on the Supreme Court now. They have stolen it once before. I forget what year it was. It was George W. Bush versus Al Gore, presidential election. Florida was contested. George Bush tried to say that the votes in Florida were wrong, and so he contested it in Florida. 3 different people now sided with George Bush and said yes, the votes in Florida were wrong, and they contested it, and they decided to leave Florida completely out of the election. Florida didn't even get to say who they wanted as president. They left Florida completely out of it. You know who those 3 people were? Brett Kavanaugh, Donald Trump's pick for justice. John Roberts, the Chief Justice, and Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah. Supreme Court stole that election for George W. Bush. Donald Trump is setting up the process for that exact same scenario to take place this time. Proof that they stole the election, there was a bunch of media outlets went back and recounted the votes in Florida. Turns out that if the votes had been counted in Florida, George W. Bush would not have won Florida. Al Gore won Florida. He won the electoral votes and the popular vote. So George W. Bush would not have won that election. Supreme Court stole that election for a Republican president. Donald Trump's setting up the process to do that again, with Mitch McConnell leading the charge. They know what's going to happen. They know that if Joe Biden wins, Donald Trump's going to come in and say that, nope, it's wrong, there's fraud, and he's going to contest it, and then it's going to go into the hands of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court being, set up now in favor of right-wing conservative justices have all the control now. what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Whether Donald Trump wins it or not, they're going to hand the election to him. And he's going to get another 4 years. That's the reason why Mitch McConnell put so much effort and so much time and forced everybody in the Senate to confirm her, because he knows what's about to happen. Now, all of you Donald Trump fans and Mitch McConnell fans, you may be like, okay, so I don't see a problem with that. Yeah. That's not democracy. That's not how our democracy works. I don't care who it is, Republican or Democrat. That's not how our democracy works. We do not allow Supreme Court justices to be handpicked to steal elections. That's not democracy. That's a dictatorship. Now, my second point. Donald Trump did not pick this Supreme Court justice. He didn't pick her. Let me find my article parts here. I broke down the articles that I found. Let's see here. Yeah. They're actually being picked by 3 different groups. Dark money groups. The Washington Post did an expose on one of these groups. It's called the Federalist. They're pumping money into picking these Supreme Court justices. And so far, it's been, where's the amount at? $68 million. They've spent $68 million. 3 different dark money groups. The Washington Post did an expose on one of these groups, but there's 3 of them. 3 different dark money groups are pumping money into picking these justices. They're funding these justices. And then people like Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump are saying, okay, yeah, let's bring them on in, put them on in the Supreme Court. And then these same groups that are also funding anti-consumer protection groups. They fund these judges, pick these judges, they get confirmed, put them in the court. Then these same groups and all these corporations that are pumping money into all this stuff take their cases in front of these judges that they funded and handpicked. What's that mean? That means that any corporation or company automatically, more than likely, has the favor leaning toward them if they take any kind of case to court. That means, just off the top of my head here, minimum wage, workers' rights, healthcare or employer provided healthcare, just all this stuff that can go in front of the Supreme Court. Okay, let's just say that I picked, me personally now, that I picked a Supreme Court justice. And I had the majority on the court. I went through all this trouble to fund and pick this Supreme Court justice and put them in the court so that I could have a majority. And then I say, okay, now I'm going to take, say I own a company, and I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to take my case in front of this Supreme Court that I picked to strip all my workers of all their rights and not have to pay them anything, and not have to provide health care for them or whatever. But what do you think is going to happen if I funded and picked that judge and then my case goes in front of them? What do you think is going to happen? Are you naive enough to believe that any decision that comes down from that court is going to be fair? Because it's not. That's what's going on here. Now, one of these groups, the same one I've been mentioning, the Federalist, the leader of it, his name is, where's it? Leonard Leo. When they outed him for having part in all of this dark money scheme to pick these justices, and this is not all they're doing, by the way, he got out of the game. He went into hiding, and a massive voter suppression effort to suppress people's votes, to keep people from voting. Guys, I mean, I don't know what else I have to tell you. Mitch McConnell knows all about this. Mitch McConnell is leading the charge on all of this. He knows about every bit of it. He's leading the charge on this. Do you people in Kentucky honestly believe he's doing anything for you? Mitch McConnell this is what he's been spending his time on, what I'm talking to you about right now. This is what he's spending his time doing. He's worried about his own power, his own money, and his own re-election. And he's doing whatever it takes in order to get all of that. He's not worried about you. And let's forget about the Republicans and the Democrats, okay? Because I'm just going to tell you something right now. It's no longer about Republicans or Democrats. None of this is about Republicans versus Democrats anymore. It's got nothing to do with Republicans versus Democrats. It's about the rich and the powerful rigging our judicial system. They're rigging our elections. They're suppressing people's votes. They're pumping dark money into these campaigns in order to change the laws and redo our districts so that they have an advantage. They're doing all this stuff because they're trying to worry about themselves. They're worried about their money, their power, and their elections. And then you have all these corporations pumping all this money into them, because what's going to happen when you have a bunch of corporations pumping money into somebody like Mitch McConnell's campaign fund? Then what's Mitch McConnell going to do? He's going to turn around and do their bidding. He's not going to worry about us. I don't care what lies you've been told. He's not worried about you, and he's not doing anything for you. He's blocking a stimulus package that could have helped people that are out of work right now, or that are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, which is 80 million people in this country living paycheck to paycheck every year. Mitch McConnell ain't doing nothing for you. He don't care. Get it through your head. He don't care. 2 different stimulus packages. One was approved by the House, put in front of him, and he said no. He don't give a damn about you. Get that through your head. Now, let's see if I got to everything. Yeah, I think that's about everything that I wanted to bring up about what I'd looked up. I looked up all this stuff. That was all that. But I wanted to get to another point before I end this video. What are we at? We're at 17 minutes. Okay, I wanted to get to another point before I end this video. All of this socialism sucks. Oh my God, Venezuela. Socialism sucks. Venezuela. Do y'all realize that the military budget, $750 billion that Mitch McConnell handed to Donald Trump for his military budget? Y'all know that's socialism, right? That's actually the biggest socialist program in the country. Socialism. The health care that Mitch McConnell has that makes sure that he's healthy as a horse so he can stay right in that Senate spot and keep screwing over the American people and the people of Kentucky what time he lies to you and you're stupid enough to run out and keep voting for him. He has that gold plan package health care that makes sure he's healthy enough to do that. That's socialism. That health care plan he has. It's socialism. You know what health care plan I have? A big fat fuck you from Mitch McConnell. That's the health care plan that I have. I sit right now, I was out of work for 2 weeks. No kind of sick leave, no sick pay, just out of work for 2 weeks because of my heart attack. Now, I don't have health care either because I can't afford it. I can't afford to pay $200 to $300 a month for health care. and still end up having to pay a big deductible, still end up having to pay big copays when I go to the doctor, and still end up getting told, oh, well, that $200 to $300 a month that you're paying for health care, that only covers 80% of the cost. You still have to pay for the 20%. That's what they expect me to do. I can't afford to do that. So I would have no health care, except for one thing. The governor of Kentucky has extended the Medicaid for everybody if you don't already have health care. That's what I'm using right now. That's what I had when I had my heart attack. That phone. I hate that phone. But yeah, that's the only reason why I was even able to go to the hospital. Was because of that Medicaid. Do you know what that Medicaid is? Medicare for all. Yeah. Socialism. What Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump call socialism saved my life. I'm a regular Kentuckian, just like all other people in Kentucky. I work a lot. I don't have health care. The only difference between me and a lot of the other people in Kentucky that are just like me is that I don't vote for people like Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump, because I'm smart enough to know that they are fucking me every single day that they are allowed to be in Washington, D.C. They are fucking me, and they are fucking you too. What part about that is so hard for you to understand? Now it's time to stop with the fucking games. It's time to stop with the, oh, well, my opinion might differ from yours, but you still have to respect me. No, you have some kind of a delusional theory that you deserve respect no matter what you do. But when you are voting for people that are fucking me, I don't have to respect you or nothing that you say. That's how that works. When you are voting for somebody that is screwing me and messing with my health and messing with my money, then I'm not going to respect you. I'm not going to respect what you think. I'm not going to respect what you say. I don't have to, and I'm not going to. You're voting out of fear. You're voting out of stupidity. And you think that everybody's supposed to respect that? It's not happening. And just as soon as y'all keep running out and voting for Mitch McConnell and Kentucky re-elects him and he's screwing everybody in the country, guess what? Guess what happens? The other 49 states are looking at us and saying, y'all are some dumb people. You're some stupid people. Can't believe you are so dumb that you can't see what this man's actually doing. It don't matter if he's a Republican or a Democrat. I don't give a damn. Either way, if he's a Democrat, I'd still be condemning him because of what he's doing. Stop with the Republicans versus the Democrats. Bullshit. It's a trap that you fell into, and you're not smart enough to dig your way out of it. Stop with the Republicans versus the Democrats. Bullshit. That's over. We're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about the actions of these people that are taking our lives in their hands and crushing them. And you're falling for it. I'm done with this mess. I'm done with all of it. Know your facts before you go vote. That's all I'm saying. If you know the facts and you know that he's screwing us, you know what he's doing, you can look me in my face and you can tell me you know what he's doing, and then you still want to vote for him because of any legitimate reason, you still want to vote for him. I could even respect that. But you running out and voting out of fear and ignorance is not acceptable to me, and I'm not going to respect that. You make us all look bad. Everybody that lives in the state of Kentucky looks bad because of the majority are running out and voting out of fear and ignorance. and you making all of us look bad. So think about that before you go vote. Because I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done with sitting and worrying about my health. I'm done with sitting and worrying about whether or not I'm going to end up needing health care and not have it. I'm done with sitting and worrying about how I'm going to pay my bills. I'm done with all of that because other people hold my life in their hands and you're voting out of fear and ignorance. It's time for it to end. It's time for the ignorance and the fear to end. Y'all need to start voting on what these people are doing and stop voting for them just because they're Republicans or Democrats. Vote for them based on what they're doing. I mean, I don't know why I need to be telling grown people this, but apparently I do. You don't vote for people because of a fucking label beside their name. You vote for them for what they're doing and what they're not doing. And dark money and corporations control our government. That's what they're doing. They're not doing anything for you. So they need to be voted out. End of story.